the street on edge. Utilities and capital goods eke out gains while healthcare and realty drift lower. JLR plans to invest 15 billion euros on EVs over the next 5 years and launch 3 EVs in the next 2 years. The big spend pushes its cash break-even down a year to FY25, but analysts keep the faith. Experts tell CNBC TV18 that any move to phase out FAME subsidies by end of FY24 could significantly stunt growth of the electric vehicle sector, with EV-only players set to bear the biggest brunt. And Mastech jumps on a strong performance after the Infosys debacle, while ICICI Securities puts up a weak show unlike Angel One. Good afternoon and welcome to Business Lunch. I'm Pavitra. Those are all the top headlines that we're looking at this afternoon. The market once again is very flat right now. It's just marginally in the red, around 9 points lower as we speak. But, from the top of the session, like you can see, we hit the highs early in the morning. It has been around an 80-point drop. It is also the FNO weekly expiry, so we will watch out for that in terms of what we can see towards the second half of trade. But for now, we have a very flat screen on our hands. The good news once again is that the outperformance of the broader market continues. So the Nifty Mid-Cap Index, the small caps holding up much better than what we're seeing on the front line. And that is what is keeping the advanced decline also very positive. So you have around 1,600 stocks which are advancing for around 1,200 which are in the red. In terms of the sectoral moves that we're seeing, there's been a big recovery in the IT names, I have to say. So take a look at some of the larger ones. HCL Tech, Wipro, HCL Tech, of course, ahead of its results. It was trading sharply lower. It has come off significantly from those levels. All of the large cap IT names seeing a good recovery. Some of the auto names once again doing well. We'll talk more about that. On the downside, it is largely pharma, some of the consumption names, so the likes of HUL, Britannia, Nestle, which are all seeing some cuts, and real estate also under pressure. But of course, real estate, after the solid up move that we've already seen in that pack. So that's what's happening in terms of the market action. We're going to keep coming back to this. But first up, let's kickstart the show by talking about some of the key numbers that came through. Because, like I was telling you, all of the action has really been in the mid-cap space. And the one which is really grabbing eyeballs today is Mastech. It is the mid-cap IT company Mastech. And it posted a very good showing. It's really sort of soothed sentiments across the IT board after what we saw from Infosys. So Rima standing by to take us through what we saw from Mastech.
Well, it's just a strong performance all round. Very good execution. The company's been winning order wins, and their key market of UK and Europe is firing for them. So let me run you through the big numbers. A constant currency revenue growth of more than 5% quarter on quarter. Year on year, it's almost a 20% growth. And the quarter on quarter numbers are pure organic, right? So it's more than a 5% organic revenue growth. And compare this with expectations. Sharekhan, for instance, was penciling in a 1.8% revenue growth. So compared to street expectations, these numbers have blown the lights off. Margins too have improved by 50 basis points to 17.8%. UK and Europe, that's the key geography for Mastech, contribute 60% to the overall revenues, and that's seen a growth of more than 10% quarter on quarter. The order book has picked up sequentially by more than 5%. The cash on the books is 270 crore rupees, and the attrition is trending down at 21%. The management commentary in the conference call was also upbeat. They are planning to, their aspiration is to grow their margins to high teens. They've ended FY23 with margins of 17.8%, but when they mean by high teens and what their aspiration is, I think they're trying to get closer to that 18 to 19% band. They also said that they're quite confident about growing faster than the industry. So good Q4, and even the outlook by the company in terms of margins and revenues appears to be very promising, so that macro uncertainty, at least for now, doesn't appear to be impacting Mastech in terms of pure execution and delivery. Back to you.
All right, Rima, thanks a lot for getting us all of the details from Mastech. The street definitely liking, what's come through in the earnings, as well as the conference call and what the management had to say there. But sticking with earnings, Tata Communications is the other one which we are tracking after its earnings. The company posted a weak set, although the stock has recovered sharply after we did speak with the management. So the company's margins were the main pain point this time around. We saw 120 basis points contraction, and this was largely on account of employee costs rising sharply. Earlier today, we spoke with Amar S. Lakshminarayan, who is MD and CEO of the company, and they said that they are comfortable with the current net debt to EBITDA levels. Let's listen in to some of those comments.
I think barring one market for us internationally, all the markets have been firing in all cylinders, if I may say so. all posting in excess of 15-16% growth. If you look at our Asia Pac market or our European market, they have been growing at high teens. We appeal to both the cost side of the equation and the revenue side of the equation for our customers with our enhanced products. We would like to think for the next 2 years, customers are going to focus more on cost-led transformations that also delivers better experience for their customers. And if you look at last 3 years, and you pointed that out, our debt has come down quite significantly. We are quite comfortable in terms of our net debt to EBITDA ratio. We have a strategy of a good cash generation within the company, and our first priority is to invest back into our products and platforms as we've been doing in the last year and going forward as well. But anything excess.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch, and let's now bring you some national updates that we are tracking. On the COVID front, we saw India report over 12,500 cases. This is in just the last 24 hours. And with this, the country's active caseload now stands at 65,286. Now, the national capital recorded over 1,700 cases and 6 deaths. This is on Wednesday, and it is the highest so far this year. The positivity rate in Delhi also stands at 28.68%. So that has remained pretty much flat. Meanwhile, Mumbai, on the other hand, reported 230 cases and 1 death. This is in the last 24 hours as well. So that's what we're tracking in terms of the COVID numbers. Of course, we're going to keep bringing you more on this as the days go by. Another piece of unfortunate news that we are getting is that the unprecedented heat wave across India is risking blackouts and even death. And there's a new study actually which shows that nearly 90% of India could be severely impacted by abnormal rise in temperatures, which is of course caused by climate change, like we've been telling you. According to the report, heat waves are now recurrent and more lethal and will not only adversely hit people's productivity, health and well-being, but critically hamper the country's progress towards its sustainable development goals as well. Remember, this concerning report comes on the heels of temperature soaring across the country, and that's something that we have been talking about. So now further sort of warnings of a severe heat wave in India. That's what we're tracking on the weather front. Some more important national news since we're wrapping it all up for you. Surat's court has rejected Rahul Gandhi's request to hold his conviction in the defamation case over the Modi surname. Now, this inhibits Rahul Gandhi from being reinstated as a member of the parliament. Rahul Gandhi, remember, had made his request after he was sentenced to 2 years in prison and disqualified as MP. He said that the trial court treated him harshly. However, as things stand now, there seems to be no reprieve for Rahul Gandhi. So that's important news that we had to bring you from the courts as well. All right, on that note, we are out of time on this edition of Business Lunch, but I'm going to leave you with a quick word on the market, which is at around 20 points in the red right now for the Nifty. It is a Nifty bank where we have slipped quite a bit. And, even in the broader markets, the mid-cap, small-cap have started to correct quite a bit. So we're just around, 0.1% in the green for the mid-cap index. The advanced decline ratio also narrowing a little bit. But that's the shape of the market. Thanks a lot for tuning into Business Lunch. We have mid-cap radar in just a bit.
Co-presented by Canara Bank. Together we can.